Yes, us. Welcome to the Kefi Life Podcast. My name is Kiki Vale, and I'll be your guide to creating a life of Ola Kala, all is well. Together, we'll get back to the basics, and we'll explore fresh new ways to flourish in mind, body, and soul the Greek way. You can look forward to interviews, stories, essential self-care strategies, recipes, and actionable takeaway Ola Kala moments. This is going to be so much fun. Let's get going. Πάμε! Our Lexi for today is Scholeio. Scholeio, or school. Scholeio is a broad way to look at education. You can go to a trade school, a traditional school, or life experience can be your school. However you embrace the concept of becoming smarter, the most important thing to remember is to never stop learning. Eleolado, olive oil, has been celebrated in the civilized world for millennia, nearly eternal. The oil of this fruit has been more than just food to the cultures of the Mediterranean region. It's been medicinal, ceremonial, sacramental, and the foundation of great wealth and power. It is safe to say that olive oil is the ethos, the essence of Greek culinary culture. Today, the priceless and life-giving ingredients of this liquid gold can be delivered to you when you purchase your premium bottle of Kefi Life extra virgin olive oil from the region my parents were born, the Peloponnese. The coveted Thessaloniki olive is extensively cultivated here in the southern part of Greece, which offers the unique microclimate needed to grow a fruit netting the utmost nutrient value for extra virgin olive oil. Kefi Life Extra Virgin Olive Oil, a boundless amount of value, high in antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties, linked to good mood and improved mental health. Get your bottle of wellness today when you visit kefilife.shop. A beautiful school in Thessaloniki, Greece, the only one of its kind in Southeastern Europe, provides a holistic dynamic of academic learning and teaching leadership with farming initiatives. And this is all done to educate, or it is hopefully done to educate the whole individual. What a powerful combination to grow in wellness and inspire an entire community. I'm so excited to find out all about what's going on with American Farm School. So we're going to join Philanthropy Associate and friend of the American Farm School, Matina Marks. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my God, it's such an honor to see you. I love what you're doing. You're really promoting something so, if I can use the word organic and holistic, that I want to find out everything. Let's just start from the beginning. And why don't you share with us what is the American Farm School?
So the American Farm School is the only institution in Southeastern Europe that offers all levels of education, starting at the pre-K level, going all the way through graduate studies, and there are even adult education seminars. It's located in Thessaloniki, Greece, which is the country's second largest city. People are always visiting Athens and the Greek islands, and I think Thessaloniki is often neglected. I always compare it to Thessaloniki is to Athens as Chicago is to New York. It's a smaller, cleaner, friendlier city full of beautiful architecture and rich history. And then the campus is right there in Thessaloniki. The campus itself is a collection of educational buildings, gardens, fields, greenhouses. There's a poultry and dairy department, vineyards, olive groves. There's a beautiful little chapel. And then there are, of course, the dormitories. So it really is this oasis, this gem in the city. I don't know anyone who's ever gone to campus and has not fallen in love with the mission of the school and the physical beauty that surrounds it.
You have described such a beautiful picture of American Farm School. Who founded it? I think it's been a while since this was founded. Give us a little bit of rich history on the founder and also the president who's coming to Chicago soon.
Sure. So much history. It was the property itself was purchased in 1902 by Dr. John Henry House, who was he was a missionary who had worked in the Balkan region for 30 some years and fell in love with Thessaloniki. He fell in love with Greece. He bought 50 acres of barren land, and 2 years later, he opened the school. And this was all while the Ottoman Empire was collapsing. There was a lot of social unrest. And the first class of students were actually boys who had been orphaned during one of the uprisings. And so his mission was to educate those kiddos so that they could be successful in farming, so that they could really go back to their villages, to their homes, and they could survive, and not only survive, but really prosper. And so he did this through hands-on training. He taught them how to manage crops, their fields, vineyards, livestock, and also taught them industrial skills like carpentry, blacksmithing, masonry. And over the years, right, it has evolved and adapted. And that's what is so magical about this place. It's gone from just a school that was really focused on teens and getting them back into the village to expanding to the itty bitties, the pre-K kids, all the way through graduate school. So first the college was added, then the primary school, and then the middle school. So that's where we're at right now.
What you know what's also magical, Matina Marks, is when a person like Dr. House can bring a dream to life, but not only, and usually when a dream grows that much and spreads and imparts wisdom and support and growth for people, it just keeps growing. And I feel like farming is sort of a spiritual experience, quite honestly.
Absolutely. And it once you are there, you are hooked. So after Dr. House was president, his son became president, and then you had Bruce Lansdale become president. And he was on campus for 43 years. And he was just an inspiration, as is his wife. His wife is still alive. She's in her 90s. But they were just inspiring. Just a couple moments of a conversation with them, and you were automatically hooked. And now the current president is actually Dr. Jeff Lansdale, one of their sons. So again, this school, it will grab you. It will embrace you, and you will never want to let go of it or have it let go of you. It really is a beautiful, beautiful place.
How interesting that adults can even go, wow. What?
Oh, absolutely.
So you're a friend of the school, but you also attended, I believe. Kind of give us a 411 on that.
Yeah, so I attended the Greek summer program, which is not part of the real academic school. It was a program that was actually created by Bruce Lansdale in 1970. And the intention behind it was to introduce Americans to the farm school, to Greece, and allow them to fall in love with both, which is a pretty easy thing to do. And so, the school historically, it was started by John House, who had absolutely no Greek background. And it has historically been supported by Americans who, again, have no Greek background. They just have fallen in love with the school. They've fallen in love with the mission. And so that is how the school has survived and not only survived, but really thrived.
How was the, it kind of makes sense, the Greek summer program versus the academic year. How does it differ from the year-long education, like what they're getting? Is it just like condensed, or how would you describe the Greek summer program?
So the Greek summer program is really a community service program at heart. So there are 4 key components. You've got the firm school stay, where you're introduced to the school and you do tasks on campus to learn more about it. So you're, interacting with livestock, you're learning about the apiary, how honey is produced, all the different products that are created on campus and produced on campus, you learn about during that time. There's the big trip portion where you travel around the country and you are introduced to the incredible history and culture of Greece. You go to Meteora, to Delphi, to Athens, all around. You think of Greece as this huge country because it has such a huge history, but it's really tiny. I think it's the size of Arkansas. So within a few days, you can really expose yourself to so much history. It's amazing. The third component is the ascent of Mount Olympus, which is a 2-day trip. So you climb to the top of Mount Olympus, you spend the night, you try to massage out those sore muscles, and then you descend the next day. And then the heart of the program is the village stay. So each of the participants is paired up with a village family, and you do a community service project. Back in the olden days, in the 90s, when I was a participant, that actually meant mixing cement, creating concrete, and paving a road. And that's really what the program did from the 70s probably through the late 90s. And then as villages became more urbanized and, not quite as rural, that sort of cement work has dropped off. But there is still a community service component. So our students go in, they interact with the young children in the village. They teach them English, they play games, read to them, and do other things around the village.
So there's a couple decades that have passed since you were there and you remain a friend of the school. You must have been deeply impacted by the experience. What would you say about how it impacted you and what it taught you as far as holistic living or being who you are today?
So I think, one of the things that Bruce and Tad would do at the beginning of the program, we would meet at their home in Metamorphosis, which I can't even talk about the sort of how perfect, right, the name of that town is. And you're going on this life-changing experience. You start out in a town named Metamorphosis.
Are you for real?
No.
There's actually a town named that.
Yes, in Halkidiki. It's beautiful. It's on the water. And so, that is the beginning of your summer metamorphosis. It's literally right there. And one of the things that Bruce and Ted would always do is read Cavafy's poem, Ithaca. And at the heart of that poem, it's really about enjoying the journey, right? Not just always looking towards the destination, which, I feel like for especially American teens, when we're in high school, we are constantly thinking about college and our career and our next steps. And we are moving at this fast pace and we are not enjoying the journey. And so the time that you spend in Greece on the farm school, in the village, on the program, you are enjoying the moment. You are enjoying the journey. You're enjoying the challenges, right? Sitting down to dinner with a Greek family. I was one of the only Greek American students on the trip. So most of these kids have absolutely no background. Sitting down with a village family that speaks no English, right? And you speak no Greek. And what do, right? Are you the one who you just start saying everything louder and louder? Because if you say it louder, maybe they'll understand, right? Ultimately, I think you just end up shrugging your shoulders a lot and smiling, right? All you need to do is smile and enjoy the insanity and understand that these people have opened their homes and are loving you unconditionally. And it is magic.
I'll tell you what, it's magical, yes, but it's also so poignant what you said about the poem Ithaca, because that's one of my favorite. And truly, I think that's where people lose sight wherever they're, primarily here in the States, we're going 100 miles an hour. We're not even realizing we're in a moment of something pretty special. And if we could just keep that in mind and be present, but also village living is something that, okay, I have everything here. I'm very spoiled. I have, a beautiful life, but there is something so healing about village living when you walk the dirt roads and you see the buildings and the food, the people that own their homes go out to their garden, they grab some vegetables, they grab some food, and then they bring it back in and prepare a meal. And then they sit at the table and have their geffy, if you will.
Yeah.
But I could see how that, we interviewed Matina, somebody named, he's an attorney by trade, but his name is Strati Kamatsos, and he's originally from Greece, and then they moved to London, but he wrote a book called Slow Life Living. And it kind of is similar to what you're describing with the American farm school.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder, we went to Greece last year. I have not been back to smaller villages, but I wonder between the pandemic and just life in general, whether or not those villages are becoming repopulated, people are embracing, because for a while there, right, kids, teenagers wanted to get out. They wanted to escape. They wanted to live in Athens or Thessaloniki. But I think that we are, at least here, I know I am. I'm ready to simplify. I'm ready to go back. Gosh, if I could get rid of my cell phone and my computer and all of it, I would be so happy to just breathe and enjoy.
And not respond to the ding, the ding, the ding, the ding, 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 ding. We just started turning our phones off on Sundays, but it's kind of hard because I have 4 children. I think you have 2, and you want to make sure the kiddos are doing okay. But we do have to simplify that technology where it's not consuming our lives. Earlier, you mentioned Dr. House. He sounds absolutely incredible, and he was known as a practical idealist. And I'd love to know a little bit about him. He wasn't Greek, but he had a philosophy about educating the whole individual. And I'll let you share what that is because it just speaks to me.
Simply put, he just believed in educating the whole individual, the head, the hands, and the heart. So that the students, when they returned to their villages, it wasn't just about, farming their own family land and being successful just in that small pocket. They really became leaders within their village, right? So each of the villages, they have their own little government. They've got their own mayors. And these kids would not just return for their own prosperity, but to better the entire village, to better the entire area, region that they came from. And that, they thought beyond themselves. They became real stewards of the land.
Matina, the school truly sounds like a life-changing opportunity for the youth and adults alike. That is so cool. Why don't you tell us about the upcoming fundraiser, A Taste of AFS?
Yeah, so we are hosting a small fundraiser at Avli Taverna, which is located in Lincoln Park, on May 19th. And more than a fundraiser, it's really just to bring awareness to the Chicago community about the school. The donors that we have been extremely loyal and are multi-generational, right? So the people that are donating now are the children and grandchildren of the original donors of the school. And what's interesting about it is even though this is a school that's located in Greece, the vast majority of donors are not Greek. And part of that is the school was started in the early 1900s, right? 1904. And so most of our family that's when the massive immigration was happening in the United States. So our yayas and papus were coming over to pursue the American dream. And we're not in the financial position to be donating back. If they were sending money back to Greece, they were sending it back to the village, to their families, not to a school, right? But our yayas and papus succeeded. And our parents, were probably the first generation to attend colleges or graduate schools. And then you've got our generation, which not only is doing well and has acclimated, but we love Greece and we're going back to Greece, right? Many of us go back every summer. Some of us dream of retiring there or purchasing land there. And so it just makes sense that the Greek American community be aware of this amazing school and give back. So the event on the 19th will feature products that are made on campus by the students. And the president of the farm school, Dr. Jeff Lansdale, and his wife will be attending, and we'll just give a very short introduction, and then we'll enjoy some great food and wine.
Sounds really yummy and delicious. To what aspect of the school are the donations dedicated to? I know you're trying to get the word out about American Farm School, but where does the money go?
So the money will go to the scholarship fund. All of the tuition is subsidized. Every student that goes there has some sort of financial aid. The primary and middle school students do pay tuition. The majority of the high school students are on scholarship, and then all of the college kids receive scholarship money and financial aid. So whatever profits we make from that evening will go towards the scholarship fund.
Well, Matina, this just sounds fantastic. If folks can't make the event, I know it is a small, intimate event. I saw the invitation, quite lovely. Is there a way that people could donate if this really piques their interest about continuing on the tradition of the American Farm School and also learning about Greece?
If people are interested in learning more about the farm school or interested in donating, they can visit the farm school website, which is afs.edu.gr. And there's a lot of great information. There's a timeline which really talks about the rich history and beautiful pictures, as well as information about all the programs that are available on campus, both for Greek students and for study abroad.
Matina Marks, you have been a very special guest, and I ask all my special guests this final question, and it's kind of like a life question. Matina, In my life, I've learned that.
I think that I have learned that it is important to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think it gets harder as we get older to put ourselves into those situations where we are not comfortable, where we are stretched. And so, but it's those experiences where we really learn about ourselves, about our strengths and our vulnerabilities. So the Greek Summer Program is one of those programs where you definitely are outside of your comfort zone and you grow a ton. And that's part of why it is so special.
Personal development combined with a taste of grace. Wow, you can't go wrong. Matina Marks, thank you so much. Hopefully people will go and check out American Farm School, and you have a lovely day. Thanks for joining us today on Kefi Life to tell us all about it.
Thank you, Kiki.
Stay right there. Up next, your weekly takeaway to keep it all as well. Ola kala.
This Ola kala moment brought to you by the law offices of Liston and Centillus. Ranked number 1 by the leading lawyers network since 2010, taking care of all your real estate needs.
If you want to live the life you've never lived, you have to do things you've never done. A fun yet practical book to get you excited about exiting the easy way is Badass. Fun, funny, and practical, reading this book will help you to think outside of the box. Shoe Dog, the story of how the shoe brand Nike was born, is another page turner to propel you to being the root of your success. Friends, you'll be ola kala all as well when you begin to think differently about your journey.
Kiki Vale is the founder of Kefi Life. She is passionate about whole person wellness and living a fulfilled life. Her Kefi Life podcast is created to simply and naturally help you harmonize the mind, body, and soul the Greek way. Visit KefiLife.com and check out Kiki Vale on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Join us again next time for more positive energy and inspiration on Kefi Life.